Do they know their albums? £4,000 could be music to their ears, pointless in 45 minutes. Right now on BBC One, it's The Repair Shop. In The Repair Shop today, the team take on a garden bench. Some happy families ahead in 45 minutes. First, Charlie, all the Wright brothers would be honoured to create a garden for this couple.
Edmonds up a certain creek without a certain instrument in 80s comedy classic Blackadder in an hour, as we continue our big Saturday night of entertainment here on BBC One, where it's time to spin the wheel.
Cold outside? Imagine being stranded on a busy road in freezing conditions. Sadly, for one motorist, no imagination needed. That's Britain's longest road in 45 minutes. But now, the far-reaching implications of a fake £20 note.
One beautiful garden and one in desperate need of a garden rescue in 45 minutes. But first, sit back, relax and let's escape.
Well, if Julia didn't have enough to think about, she will very soon. Gold Digger, just an hour away. Jack's performing Elliot's big operation first on BBC One. How worried should he be?
Looking at the oceans of deep water filled with great white sharks. Dangerous. Blue Planet 2 on BBC One at 5. Now, let's take a trip.
A Song for Christmas is in the works, but will they make the competition in time? Nativity 2, Danger in the Manger on BBC One in 45 minutes. Now, film and chill.
BBC News at 1, now on BBC One, with Jane Hill.
The BBC News at 6, now on BBC One, with Sophie Rayworth.
This is BBC One in the South. Now the BBC News with Fiona Bruce and David Allard at 6 o'clock.
Now at 6 o'clock, the news on BBC One Northern Ireland with Fiona Bruce and Declan Harvey.
This is BBC One for the South East. Now the news with Fiona Bruce and Natalie Graham.
This is BBC One in Yorkshire. Now the BBC News with Fiona Bruce and Amy Garcia at 6 o'clock.
Now at 6, the news on BBC One with Fiona Bruce.
This is BBC One for Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. Now the BBC News with Fiona Bruce and Peter Levy. It's 6 o'clock.
This is BBC One South West. Now the news presented by Fiona Bruce with Victoria Graham.
This is BBC One in the North West. Now the BBC News with Fiona Bruce and Roger Johnson at 6 o'clock.
This is BBC One in the East Midlands. Now the news with Fiona Bruce and Anne Davis.
This is BBC One in the Midlands. Now the BBC News with Fiona Bruce and Mary Rhodes at 6 o'clock.
This is BBC One in the East. Now the BBC News with Fiona Bruce and Andrew Sinclair at 6 o'clock.
This is BBC One in the West. Now the news with Amanda Parr and Fiona Bruce.
Now the news on BBC One Wales with Fiona Bruce in London and Nick Savini in Cardiff. It's 6 o'clock.
This is BBC One in the North East and Cumbria. Now the BBC News with Fiona Bruce
and Carol Malia at 6 o'clock.
This is BBC One in the Channel Islands. Now the BBC News with Fiona Bruce and Charlie McCardle.
Now on BBC One Scotland, the news at 6 o'clock with Fiona Bruce and Reporting Scotland with Laura Miller.